If you've ever set up a home theater and ended up feeling like you've bought an expensive set of speakers that sound great on paper, but fall flat when you actually sit down to watch a movie, you're not alone. The whole point of a surround sound system is to make every night feel a little more cinematic, but the risk is that you end up with a box of gear that's hard to position, finicky to calibrate, and ultimately doesn't deliver the immersive experience you were promised. That's why today, I'm taking a close look at the Samsung Q Series Q990h and ZC 11.1.4 channel full home surround setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what makes this system different from the usual 5.1 or even 7.1 kits you see around. Samsung is pushing a true 1.1.4 channel arrangement, which means you get 3 extra height layers in addition to the standard surround speakers. The idea is that you'll feel sounds coming from above, you think rain, or an airplane flying overhead, so the sound field feels three-dimensional, not just wrapped around the room. On paper, that sounds like the perfect upgrade for anyone who wants a true Dolby Atmos experience without the hassle of a full-blown professional setup. Who should consider this? If you're the type of homeowner who already has a decent 5.1 or 7.1 system and wants to take the next step, or if you're building a dedicated home theater where you plan to sit in a fairly fixed spot, this could be a logical move. The system's AI-powered sound optimization works best when the room's layout is relatively stable. Once you finish placement, the AI will learn the acoustic characteristics and adjust the output accordingly. That's great for a dedicated media room, but it also means it's less forgiving in a multi-use living space where furniture gets rearranged often. On the flip side, if you're looking for a plug-and-play solution for a small apartment, or you don't want to run any wires at all, this might not be the best fit. While Samsung markets the rear speakers as wireless, the subwoofer and the height speakers still need a connection to the main hub, and you'll need enough outlets and a power strip to accommodate them. The system also assumes you have a fairly modern TV that can handle HDMI EARC, because that's how the highest bandwidth audio streams like Dolby Atmos are passed to the speakers. If your TV is older or you're using an older receiver, you'll be bottlenecked, and the extra channels won't actually be used. Let's get into what the day-to-day usage looks like. I tested the system with a mix of streaming services, a Blu-ray player, and a game console. The AI optimization feature is pretty straightforward. After you power everything on, the system runs a quick calibration tone that measures how sound bounces around the room. In a typical 20 by 15 foot living room with a large window on one wall, the system took about a minute to settle, and the result was a subtle yet noticeable boost in clarity. Dialogue from a drama series was easier to follow, even when the background music swelled. The height speakers added that whoosh effect in a space opera scene that you'd normally only get on a dedicated theater. That said, the height speakers aren't truly up-firing. They're placed on top of the front and rear left to right speakers, and they rely on reflective ceiling surfaces to send the audio upward. In rooms with low ceilings or heavily acoustic damped ceilings, the effect was muted. In my test house, the kitchen ceiling was tiled and fairly reflective, so the Atmos cues landed where you'd expect. In a room with a heavy acoustic ceiling tile, the height layer felt more like an extra surround channel rather than a true overhead effect. So the architecture of your ceiling matters more than most people realize when they buy an atmoscapable setup. Battery life isn't an issue here. These are mains-powered units, but power consumption is worth noting. The subwoofer, which Samsung markets as powerful bass with intelligent audio control, draws about 180 watts at peak, which translates to a noticeable hum on the electricity meter if you keep it running all day. For most users, that's fine, but if you're looking to keep your monthly bill low, you might want to turn it off when you're not watching movies. One of the biggest practical strengths of this system is the integration with Samsung's SmartThings ecosystem. If you already have a Samsung TV, you'll notice that the sound system appears as an audio output option in the TV settings, and you can switch between TV speakers, soundbar, or this full surround system without juggling remote controls. The Samsung app also lets you adjust bass levels, speaker distance, and even fine-tune the AI calibration from your phone. That level of convenience is a real time saver, especially compared to older surround rigs where you'd manually tweak settings on each individual speaker. However, the convenience comes with a trade-off: the app isn't as robust.